Hey there, in this video we're going to go over problem number 1 from the Unit 1 test. It says, the ninth graders are planning a class trip to Washington, D.C. The class decided to sell cookies to raise money. If they sell cookies for 4 weeks, they will make $500. And then it goes on to ask us some questions about 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, and so on. My natural inclination when doing a problem like this is to go to a ratio table. Um, what I'll do is I'll go ahead, I'll make myself a table, all right? And the two quantities we're dealing with here is weeks, all right? Weeks, a measurement of time, and then also dollars, dollars. I'm gonna go ahead and make myself some rows here, give myself some room to work with. I'm gonna fill in what I know, and I know that in 4 weeks they're gonna make $500. Now we're first asked in part A, how much for 8 weeks? Okay, so how many for 8 weeks? Well, this isn't too bad because I know that if I double 4, I'm going to get 8. So if I'm doubling the amount of weeks that I'm working, I'm going to be doubling the amount of money that I'm going to be making, right? So if we double 500, we will get 1,000, okay? So the first one's pretty intuitive, using the ratio table. So now they go on to ask us, after we figured out that for 8 weeks we make $1,000, how many for 12 weeks? Well, because I know that in 4 weeks I'm going to make $500, I know that if I add 4 weeks to 8 weeks, I'm going to get 12 weeks. And I know that if I work 4 more weeks, I'm going to be making $500 more. So I know that I'm going to be making $1,500 for 12 weeks. So we now know that this will be $1,500. And next, they're asking us, how about for 20 weeks? For 20. Now, there's a couple different ways we could do this. I think what I would do right now is I'd probably go up back to 4, and I know that 20 is 5 times as many weeks as 4. So if I multiply 4 weeks by 5, it's going to get me 20 weeks. If I'm working 5 times as many weeks, I'm making 5 times as much money, right? So if I multiply that by 5, we have $2,500. All right, make some room here. So it's going to be $2,500. And now they're asking us for 10 weeks. Well, that's actually kind of nice following the question of 20 weeks because I know that 10 is just half of 20. It's literally just half, alright? So if I divide 20 by 2, it's going to give me 10. If I work half the amount of time, I'm going to make half the amount of money. So 2,500 divided by 2 is going to give us $1,250. Alright, so get this out of here. We're going to make $1,250. So far, these haven't been too bad. It's been easy to work with just using what they gave us, which was this initial 4 weeks here. But now they ask us for 23 weeks. And none of these amount of weeks here could easily get me to 23. So I might want to find my unit value, which is to figure out how much are they going to make for 1 week. That's kind of our big question here. You might want to think about right now, how could we do that? How could we figure out how much they're going to make for 1 week using some of the information that we're given? Well, what you could do is if you know for 4 weeks is 500, if we go back, we could divide by 4 because 4 is 4 times as many, so going back would be dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And similarly, you would divide this by 4. If you do this, what you're going to get is $125 for 1 week. Now, this is very useful to find, something like 23 weeks. Okay, if we know 1, it's pretty easy to find, just about any amount of weeks. So using this, let's go back now. We go all the way from 1 to 23. I mean, we could sit here if we want to, and we could just do 125 plus 125 plus 23 times. But, we're taking a test here, we don't want to waste time, so we can get on to that next problem. So why don't we just use something that'll get us there quicker, which is simply multiplication. So I know that 1 times 23 is going to give me 23. If I'm working 23 times as many weeks, I'm going to make 23 times as much money. So that's doing 125 times 23. There you go. You make $2,875. Alright, so we fill that in. Now we're almost done here. Gotta ask ourselves one more question. Now this is an interesting question, and I actually saw a lot of different ways that people had solved this. So they're asking us kind of the reverse thing now. They're telling us that this is how much money was made, or how much money they need to make. How long would it take them? So we're being asked the reverse question. Alright. So, we want to figure this out. I think the way I would do this, because I know that 1 week you're going to make $125. To go backwards, from going here to here, if we wanted to figure this out, we'd be multiplying by whatever that number is, but, we don't know what that number is right now. So, to do the reverse thing, starting off, $875. I'm actually going to veer a little bit away from the ratio table right now. We know this. So what we're trying to figure out is how many times is 125 going to go into 1,875? How many times will that happen? So I mean, we could sit here if we want to, and we could just count up. We could do 125, 250, and we could keep going and tally off. But a quicker way is using the operation of division. Division tells us how much one quantity goes into another. So using some division here, give us how many weeks. So let's see, how many times does 125 fit into 1,875? It's going to give us 15. Alright, so it goes in 15 times. That tells us if we work 15 weeks, or we sell cookies for 15 weeks, we can expect to make $1,875. This is only just one way to do this problem, using the ratio table. Notice we didn't have to use unit value until we got up to E, right? So you could have done all this without unit value. It makes things a lot easier. So like I said, don't feel like there's only just one way to do this problem. There's many different ways. And that's it for problem 1. If you want to check out problem number 2, go ahead and watch the next video.